What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone, and welcome back to another Comolli video. The first part was yesterday, where you spoke about the players and saying you're not leaving on your terms, you're leaving on the club's terms. You know, you're not going to bully us into a bad situation, and the situation we're in is bad. He came into the club and he found players that we do not want to keep. Vlahovic, Weah, Nico Gonzalez, but they're on a lot of money. We spend a lot of money on these players, so we cannot just throw them away because they still have values on the books. It's not his fault, but he's in charge and he's going to need to solve it. That's the reality. And the interview was good, but the second part, or the part that I left out of yesterday's video because I don't want to put a bad mood on the video, is what he's talking about right now, and it's when he said I cannot promise to win immediately. Now, I think we can all agree that we're not going to win immediately, but to hear that from your director, the guy who's in charge, that's not what you hear, And before I talk further, hit the like button, do that right now, and subscribe to the channel. He said, this reminds me a little bit of Liverpool because of the structure, the importance of the club. But it's like, I'm not phased, I'm happy to be here. I can deal with the pressure. I can deal with the pressure of a big club, etc. And I was like, cool, all valid points. And I do agree with all the points he had to say. And then he said, we can return to win because we have a great potential. We have a great base. We have a very good squad already. And I was like, yeah and no. The base is good if you look at the base being 2-3 players. Otherwise, the base isn't fantastic, and we know that, and he knows that, obviously, and he needs to talk about, the base is excellent. He needs to say certain things because he took that stand a couple of months ago saying, we need to convince certain players that they're better than what they are, and then we can go back to winning ways, etc. So we cannot change his tune. That he needs to do. What he cannot say, in my opinion, is that we're working towards winning, but I cannot promise immediate success. You cannot really say that, in my opinion, when you're a club at Juve, because winning is a now job at Juve. You need to win. We haven't won for 5 seasons. Everybody's waiting for us to win. You need to win. You cannot say that. I think we all agree, again, that we're not going to win from what we have right now to tomorrow. You're not going to win from the get-go. It's impossible because we're far off winning. Like, we're not blind, and he knows that, and that's why he's talking about, players are leaving, he can leave, but he knows we need to improve that team. But he's in a situation where he doesn't have an open checkbook, and the financial situation is healthy, and we don't have players on a lot of money, or we paid a lot of money on, and we need to ship out, and nobody's offering that money. That's not the situation we're in. So I think all the fans understand this is not a one-man job. What fans do not understand is, for example, keeping players like Kostic. For example, players who are not good enough and have been not deemed good enough for a couple of seasons right now, not trying to force these players out. That's what fans probably do not understand, me included, where I'm like, is that part of the base you're talking about? The base that can win? Because that's not true. That's not correct. And yeah, if you think that's part of the base, then yeah, we're not going to win immediately. It's impossible to win immediately if you think players like Kostic, etc. are part of a solid base, who can do a job, who can win stuff, who can bring things to the table. That's not the reality. And we know that. That's where fans get frustrated, in my opinion. When it comes to those certain moments, instances, comments, that's where fans are like, hold on, that's not correct. And that I fully understand, and I agree with. Those are things you cannot really say. If he said we're working towards winning and we believe we can get back to winning because we believe in what we're doing and we have already this and that, I can like, oh, cool. But when you come out and said, I cannot promise immediate success, at the end of the day, you're at a club like Juve. Rebuild or not rebuild, fans have expectations. Fans have expectations, and you would expect ownership has expectations where it's like, okay, you need to build something, but success needs to come soon. It cannot take another 5 years. We already waited 5 years. We cannot wait another 5 years. It's impossible at a club like Juve. 5 years already is too much. It's too much. So the pressure is on. You need to find a way to get back to winning ways. That needs to happen. And if that means you're going to need to, take a step back and be like, yeah, we wanted 24 way out, but we take 15 because that means we can sign player X. At one point, you're going to need to swallow your pride. No, you're not going to need to do that if you want 20 and Marseille are offering 9 with a loan and all those things. Then you don't need to do that because then you come across weak. That I do agree on. But if a couple of millions less still means you can sign a player that's going to improve your team, you're going to need to do that. You also need to look at the big picture. Now, he's first into the job. He said the sporting director comes only in October, September. I don't care at this point. It's already too late. Even if he comes in right now, it's too late. And I don't blame him for that. Because he came in, was it the start of June? He comes into a new club. Finding a sporting director, not easy. Sporting director needs to come in, find the players, do his diligence, do his work. It's not easy. So taking their time right now, I'm like, cool. If you get it right, you need to get it right now. You cannot take months to sign a sporting director and then get it horribly wrong. That cannot happen because you've taken so much time to think about it. You're gonna need to, you're gonna need to hit. You cannot miss. And that's going to be part of the base you're talking about, an excellent base to win again. And if you prove that point, fans will back you. Fans will back you. I'm backing the fact that he's not lying down and say, yeah, these players need out, but we're not going to just ship them out for the fun of it. Fine. Now prove it. You can say these things, but if you turn around and give away Vlahovic for 5, and maybe exaggerating, and Weah for 9, and Nico Gonzalez for 15, then you talked a lot of smack, but you didn't do anything. Even though these are not your players, and you get thrown into the situation, if you speak like this, you need to back it up. You cannot backtrack it right now. Otherwise, you're going to come across towards the fans like you're not part of an excellent base to win because, well, you say something and you do the complete opposite. This Juve, we need to win. Everyone wants to win. There are no excuses. There are no excuses. There was no excuse for Giuntoli. After 2 seasons, he was out because we were further away from winning. And everyone was blaming him. Not only him, but he was at the top. Obviously, ownership is not going to remove themselves. That's going to happen with you again. And that cannot happen because we need to end this cycle of changing management every single 2-3 years. It's an ongoing cycle. And the moment you keep doing that is the moment you start down spiral into a very dark place where clubs like Man U are, Arsenal have been for many years, etc. These things cannot happen. Milan are, I know they flunked the Scudetto, but still are in. This is it right now. So no, I don't expect us to win immediately because I'm realistic, but the goal should be to win tomorrow. That should be the mindset. The moment you say, I cannot promise it, I'm like, is that the right mindset? But you guys can let me know in the comments what he means by that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will discuss it further in the comment section. Ciao.